Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of GNN. Today is Thursday, February 16th, and we have a new banner gracing us today. But before we get into our main event, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have the Gaza-E coming to Gundam Battle Operation 2, but before we begin, looks like we have a limited supply drop notice for the Jesta Shezzar Type A from Gundam NT, which is now entering into the 700 cost ecosystem, as well as its beam rifle and beam saber. So for those of you guys that are a little more adventurous, definitely let me know how that holds up. Some changes coming to the recycle ticket counter. We do have the Unit 4, Unit 5 Gundams, the level 3 versions now available. So there's that. We have for the DP exchange counter, we have the level 3 version of the Steak Sauce, aka the Zeta Plus A1, the Ifrit Schneid level 1, level 2, as well as the GBO2 full Bernier, or full burning as some people call it. But the level 4 version of that is now available in the DP store. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, the Gaza-E is now in GBO2. It is a 400 cost 2-star support, hailing from the model line series Gundam Sentinel, which was a Hobby Japan magazine. And I do have my Gundam Sentinel magazine floating around, but it is supposed to be part of the next generation mass production project that the Axis-based Xeon Remnants were utilizing. And I believe, looking this up, this had a little bit of a nod in the Zeta movies that came out, the new translation movies, and they do have a skeletalized version of the Gaza-E. So basically, this is designed based on mobile armor form, while taking advantage of the Gaza frame, and it's mostly built for mobility in that sense, but kind of neglecting the mobile suit side, hence why it looks funky like it does. If anything, I feel like it has a bigger resemblance to the subsequent mobile suit that was designed based on the Big Zam, which is also in ZZ, which is kind of why this looks kind of funky too. But the suit's got a lot of beam weaponry, missiles, and I think the biggest showstopper for this suit that it brings to the table is it has area denial, very much like the Zza. So I don't know what you guys think from watching the little demonstration video that we have in the beginning intro, but we'll get into the stats shortly. If you're doing 10 pulls for this 2-star suit, you do get a chance to get the Neo Zeon normal suit, a different variation. I personally don't recall seeing this, but I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments is gonna let me know in that retrospect. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have the Jesta Shezzar Type Team A available at 700 now. So on to the nitty gritty. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here for the nitty gritty behind the Gaza-E. Some stats to look at. 16k health. I would say fairly okay-ish numbers for beam and ballistic overall, but no melee resistance. Definitely feels like a suit that you don't want to get in there at all. You're going to want to play that keep away sort of game there. Movement speed 125, 180, fairly standard for, I would say, 1-year war suits. So going into something like Zeta and maybe even double Zeta being a stretch, it definitely feels like it's a little on the slow side, but that all changes when you transform into its MA mode. Its high speed move becomes its standard movement speed, with 220 being its high speed movement in mobile armor mode. And of course, as with a lot of suits that are able to transform, turning radius is pretty bad in comparison to where it's mobile suit form, but that's kind of a drawback. Going into the weapons, we have the Gaza-E version of the Knuckle Buster 1500, 3 shots at 450 and a 15-second reload with 5 seconds, excuse me, in between. Not bad, does give you a lot to play around with. Comes with a melee, although this is probably like a last-ditch option. You do have the beam cannon, its other dedicated stun, 90% heat with 750 times 2, so that's about approximately 1500 as well. It is going to shoot a little bit faster, so probably at max 2 shots and then you're overheating. You do get a missile pod, which has a very strange arc, very similar to what possibly feels like for me the Zaku Marine type at 250 or so. It arcs very similar in a way where there's kind of like a dead zone that you can't be too close to a target, and based on what I've seen so far on this, it kind of seems the same way. Effectively at 350 meters at 10 seconds reload time. This is probably going to alternate between your 2 other primary stuns there. Now, of course, the big showstopper, as I mentioned in the description portion of the suit, we have the chain explosions, basically the Zsa style mechanics here. These don't do a whole lot by themselves, but if anything, it does kind of hold up people to kind of make it easier for your team to retaliate against somebody or a group of somebodies on the other team, and essentially just make things work. 20-second reload time does kind of feel steep. I'm not 100% sure if the reload times in MA are separate from the mobile suit form. I know there are some suits that play that way. This one I'm not 100% sure, so I'm gonna avoid saying it is, but if you happen to find out and give it a go and happen to find that answer, definitely let me know in the comments. Going into the shopping list of skills, we see a lot of, I would say, pretty standard things to expect out of a support. You get a much longer effective radar in terms of effective range, comes with a scope to 5 times, personnel radar to 200 meters. Pretty much more or less pretty standard. Get buffers for its back and shoulders. Jumping into the mobile armor portion of the suit, we have a, I would say, pretty short shopping list. I'm kind of not surprised, and surprised at the same time, that there is no means of mitigating stuns at this cost range, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of supports that have that either, so no special treatment for something like this as well. So based on that, and based on the weapons that it comes with, it does feel like transforming is going to be kind of one of those use at your own risk and in a circumstantial type of setting. Not to say that it would be in a mobile suit form all the time, but until I can kind of confirm that you can juggle the cooldowns in both MA and mobile suit form separately, we'll have to kind of wait and see for the most part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight's banner news and showcase. If you guys found it informative and enlightening, please do not hesitate to hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure your notifications are enabled. It definitely helps out this channel. I keep on wanting to say stream, and I do appreciate you guys checking them out. Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are or opinions on the new suit, if you have it, if you've tried it out, and see if it's better than it looks. So until next time, guys, I will see you all on the next video.